Vietnam, during that period, 1965, the assassination of Malcolm X, 1965, the Watts riot, where some 40 people were killed, over 1,000 wounded. That was sort of the catalyst for what happened a few years later all across America. The anti-war movement in Oakland, the student movements at Berkeley, and the free speech movement. So we're part of all of this movements that existed before our Black Panther Party. But more specifically, our movement was linked to the civil rights movement in the South. The Black Panther Party correctly should be seen as a continuation of the first slaves who came here, because that's who we are. We're these Africans who were bought here as slaves, the rebellious slaves who refused to submit to the inhumanity and indignities of the system, trampling on their rights and treating them less than human. Not as if we were some social accident and we just happened. We actually had our bun and our nexus in all of the struggles that preceded us.
I want to be free to live, able to have what I need to live, bring the power back to the street where the people live.
It was also the moment in time, the oppression in Oakland, but also the oppression in New York, racist attitudes in the South, in Chicago, most segregated city in America probably to this day. It's the common denominator that made this organization that it started in Oakland in '66, this immediate phenomenon across the country is oppression, police abuses, bad housing, no jobs, the failing education system. We're that generation that saw our women being beaten with sticks on television and water hoses on people who just want to come in a restaurant to have a sandwich, kids being blown up in churches. And so we were that generation that said, we're not going to allow these racists with water hoses and hoods like cowards to come into our community and think that they can get away with it, even if they're the police, because we saw the police as really the Klan in uniform, the same guys who wear the uniform at 8 to 5, and at night they got on a sheet running around trying to terrorize people. We started in 1966 here in Oakland, and the whole focus of our movement was to deliver community service programs. And we did have a 10-point program that started when the Black Panther Party was created. So those 10 points was really the foundation of our movement. What we are known for is these confrontations with the Black Panther Party and the police. But we shouldn't be reduced to that, because when you read our 10-point program, it's 10 points. We only started addressing the issue about the police in point number 7. Those 6 programs prior to that is dealing with health care and education, decent housing, and it's what really underscored our movement. If it wasn't for those programs, I wouldn't be here today.
No more political monsters, no more secret space launches. Government departments started it in the projects, material objects, thousands of closets.
Hey, Jerry. All right, how you been? This is our first office. This is where we'd come to have our meetings, and we would have what was called political education classes. So people would come just like you're here now, and they'd sit and we talk about what's going on in the community and what can be done to make the community safer, and what we can do to make the politicians deliver on some of their promises. This is the most difficult place to get out of, because people come here and the cake, it's not the party anymore in our history, it's the cake that the Panthers had. But it's really great cake, I tell you.
I live in it, breathe in it. It's more than just fucking believing it. I'm holding in ones, rolling up my sleeves and shit.